Hi, my name is Randeep. Welcome back to my channel where I show you how to make easy Indian food. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Today we're going to be making one of the most basic Indian recipes, which is for a lentil soup or a dal. This is the yellow dal, but we're going to be using two different kinds of lentils. The first is the small yellow lentil, which is called the Moong Dal, if you're getting it from the Indian store, and the second is the red lentil, which is called the Masoor Dal. We're going to be using the Instant Pot for this whole recipe, and we're starting off with the saute option so that we can make the tempering or the tadka first. I added a little bit of ghee here, like always, but if you want to make this recipe totally vegan, you can substitute out any oil of your choice. I'm adding a little bit of cumin seeds and carom seeds for flavor, but this step is totally optional. If you don't have them at home, that's totally fine. We begin the tempering by adding in the onions. Let them saute just a little bit. By the way, all of the recipe ingredients and their quantities are listed down in the description box. Next, we're going to add some ginger garlic paste. Again, although the quantities are listed below, you can always include more or less depending on how much you like ginger and garlic flavors. I like to add a lot. Once both the onions and the ginger garlic have cooked a little bit and started to turn brown, we're going to add the tomatoes. At this stage, the ginger garlic paste is probably sticking to the bottom of the pan, and that's okay, but the liquid from the tomatoes is going to let deglaze the pan a little bit, so don't worry about that. I'm also adding some tomato paste because not only does this give the dal a deeper color, but it just adds more of that rich tomato flavor and makes the dal tangy a little bit. So once the tadka or tempering looks like this, where the tomatoes and the onions are kind of releasing the ghee or the oil, and they've browned and softened fairly well, we're going to add all of our spices. You can again increase or decrease the amount of salt and all the other spices according to your taste. I added some salt, some turmeric powder or haldi, some garam masala, and some red chili powder. If you don't like red chili powder, you can always use fresh green chilies and chop them finely to add them in there instead. You want to give this mixture a good stir, and this is where we add our lentils, which I have already washed thoroughly and drained the dirty water from. These lentils are fairly easy to cook, so unlike on some of the other beans and lentils, you don't really need to soak them. But if you do soak them for about 10 to 15 minutes, I think that should be enough time for these lentils. I've also noticed that in the Instant Pot, you don't really need to add as much water as you would if you were using a traditional stovetop pressure cooker. So here I'm adding about 3 cups of water to the soup, but again, that can vary depending on how thick or thin you like your soup. So I like it to be a little bit on the thicker side, so I only added about 3 cups, but you can add more or less, and you can always see afterward if you like the consistency, and you can always add more afterward if you'd like it to be a little bit thinner. So if you didn't see there, I turned the valve to the sealed position so that this can cook under pressure. We're going to turn off the saute option and turn on the pressure cooking option on high pressure for about 15 minutes. Like I said, this dal is really easy to cook. Once your 15 minutes are up, go ahead and really carefully, I used a wooden spoon, release the steam, release the pressure. You can let it depressurize on its own, but I'm not that patient and you don't really want to overcook anything. So So I released all the pressure. Let's take a look. Alright, it looks like our lentil soup or our yellow dal is ready to go. Give it a quick stir to make sure everything is mixed in there together. Once you mix it all together, the water that seems to be a little bit separate from the lentils, it'll just combine really well together, and that's it. That's how easy it is to make the yellow dal. I hope you give this recipe a try. Please don't forget to comment below and tell me how it turns out, and let me know what else you'd like me to make. Anything vegan or vegetarian, Indian style, I can do. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell notification.